Hi, and welcome to today's session of LinkedIn Live chat sessions with our storytellers of the soon to be published book from Thrive with Mentoring. I have a wonderful guest here with me, Bijna Balan, cohort leader of
Hi.
Munich cohort 3, and looking forward to having a great conversation with her.
Thanks, Lalita.
I'm Ladita. Yeah, I'm Ladita Vaidyanath, co-editor of this book, and we, we're going to be now speaking to Bijna, finding out more about her story and about her cohort leadership and her views on Thrive, etc. Over to you, Bijna. Would you like to share something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, being part of the book and also being part of this live short interview with you. Very privileged. So, a few words about me. I'm basically a robotics engineer, having lived and worked in 5 countries. I had the opportunity to work in various engineering departments in different roles. Apart from that, I also had the opportunity to work in human resource department and also in legal. That's actually the professional side of me. Talking a little bit personal, I'm a mother, a wife, a professional, an artist, a daughter, a friend, a sister.
Yes.
So, just like every other woman, there are a lot of roles that we do in our day to day life, and, somebody who really enjoys every bit of life.
Great. That's a lovely introduction, Bijna. You deserve a round of applause right now for that.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. That's a great introduction. I didn't know that you were a robotics engineer. That sounds really, high tech. Yeah. So, how do you balance all these roles?
I think it comes naturally to me. If you really love what you do, it automatically comes to you. That's what I really believe.
Right. You're right. And I also must add a couple of other things which I'd like to say from my side. Bijna has also done a lightning talk at the last Thrive Awards, and it was a very inspiring talk, a very moving talk also. I didn't hear the talk, but I read the manuscript. It was really nice.
Thank you.
So, are you all set, Bijna, for these queries around your story, around yourself, and around Thrive?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I'm
great,
really
great.
excited to share.
Sure. So, to start with, one word to summarize your story, Bijna.
Hmm. That's a good question. I need to find a single word because my story is
Yeah.
about a lot of emotions and, a lot of state of mind. But if I have to choose one word, I would really keep it like simple as hope, because my story is really about the optimistic feeling we all had, the optimistic emotional state we all had at the time when the world was actually going through the, crisis of pandemic. So I would keep it
Yes.
simple as like hope.
Yeah. True. I can understand that because just as you led the cohort in during the pandemic, I
Hmm.
did the same thing in Hyderabad with the two more cohort leaders, and it
Perfect.
was a huge challenge. So I can understand completely where you're coming from. Yes, it was about hope. And I think one of the things I noticed in your story, which really, leapt out to me, was the fact that how good you were at bringing people together.
Mhm.
And I've heard about your networking skills and the fact that you can get people together. Well, you connect with them at a personal level, and you're able to get them together and sustain that. That's a great quality to have, Bijna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lavita.
So, what motivated you to write the story?
Hmm. That's a good question. Actually, personally, I'm not a professional writer, and I don't believe that, neither do am I an expert in writing. But what a thought that came to my mind is that if I speak, normally it will be like, there will be one person or few people around me who listen to me. But the power of writing is that when you write, it reaches to thousands of people across the world. This is what that actually motivated me to think about writing. And of course, it was, kind of a discovery about myself that I could write, because never in my wildest dream I have ever imagined myself writing. Although,
Okay.
that was part of, small activities that we did in school or colleges, but I never have thought about being part of a book, an opportunity to write. So thanks to Thrive, of course, to Shivanki and, everybody who's part of this Thrive organization, who have really motivated, people like me who have never thought about things and have given us the opportunity of being first time in many things.
Yeah, thumbs up to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so that brings me to my next question, which is a take out of what you said. What do you feel about seeing your story in print and in a bookstore?
It's actually a privilege, I would say, a privilege and honor, being very proud of myself. And this is really connected to what I said just before. Like in my wildest dream, I've never thought about like, writing something and it will really become part of a book. And this is actually a message that I would like to put forward to everybody around who's actually listening to me or who know me, is that, sometimes these kind of community or activities that you're part of will really motivate you, inspire you to discover some hidden part of yourself that you would have otherwise never done. So
Very true.
being part of the book, that's actually the feelings that comes to me now.
That's great. I'm sure all our people listening in and your friends and family are also really looking forward to reading your story in the
Hmm.
book and to
Hmm.
seeing it in print on the book in the at a bookstore.
Yes.
And so, what did you feel about going through? What did you feel or go through when writing the story?
I was actually resonating to the time that, I was kind of like reliving the time that that I had went through, the time when I was like looking forward to speaking to people, bringing people together. So it's kind of an opportunity. It was kind of a moment for me that I relived my life from 2020, the time when we
Okay,
were like, working on the cohort leading of this, or bringing people together in the Munich cohort. So this
right.
writing opportunity gave me, the second chance to go through that emotions and that feelings that we had when we were actually bringing together the cohort.
Yes. And it's the fact that the pandemic, it's almost like the world has forgotten the pandemic. And I think the book is a great way for people to remember all that we went
Exactly.
through. Yeah.
Yes.
Moving on to questions about yourself, Bijna. What is one word to describe yourself?
Hmm. That's a tough question because sometimes, like finding a single word would be challenging. But I would see myself as like, or I would describe myself as driven, you know.
Okay.
So basically, a person who can work hard to achieve something that, I had in my mind, and, being ambitious in my own ways. But I'm a very perseverant person, a very hardworking person. So if I want to work something, I'm fully focused in that. So I would find myself as a driven person.
I would agree with that, considering that you play so many roles and you play all of them so well. Uh,
Thank
like
you.
as a professional and as a mom, as a artist. You said you're an artist, so what is that about? Is that about dance or music or?
Yes, so I'm a trained professional classical dancer,
Oh, great!
also a classical singer, and also a painter. So the one that you see in the background is a painting I did.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Okay, that really looks good.
Thank
From
you.
what I can see from here, it looks. What is that about?
It's actually an ocean, or kind of a
Oh, okay.
wave in an ocean with multiple colors. I would really, like to see it as a, kind of, it connects to a lot of things. It connects to
Right.
the way our life is like, we will have ups and downs like waves. It will have different colors, which can be connected to the state of our mind. We will have different feelings across, but it's all about the beauty that we see in the waves.
Okay.
So that we see the beauty in our life with ups and downs.
Right. I think you're also a philosopher.
Uh, There's actually I like about the hobby that I have, that helps me to be more creative and an innovative person, and to bring that creative thoughts in myself.
Right. Wonderful. Um, so, what would you say is your superpower in just one word?
My superpower, I would see, or I would, like to describe it like kind of the sensitivity I have in understanding what other people thinks and feel is something I would see myself, my superpower, the emotional intelligence that I bring, or I take together with me. This is also kind of the feedback that I received from the people around me, that it's much easier for them to connect with me and for me to connect with them. And I believe this sensitivity in me is actually the starting point of the connection I make with people around me.
That's great. Another a special emoji for you
Thank you.
for that
Thank you.
lovely answer.
Thank you.
That came across in your story, by the way. The fact,
Hmm.
how you
Yes.
relate to people and you come from a place of empathy. That
Hmm.
came across very well in your story.
Hmm. Thank you.
Um, Moving on to questions on Thrive. What do you think Thrive stands for? Again, in one word.
Hmm. Uh, One word. That's actually again a tough question. This one word, because
Okay, make
especially
it a
when it
few
comes,
words.
yeah, yeah. Um, Thrive is actually that powerful community. I would really see it as the powerful, that valuable community of people, of women professionals. And once you are in, you are really gonna discover a lot of things about yourself, about others, about the connections, about the network, about the connectivity. So I would, one word, if you want me to choose, would be like powerful. That's something that I
Okay,
see about Thrive.
okay. It'll also be about female empowerment, I guess, women's
Hmm.
empowerment.
Yes, yes, of
So I think
course.
Thrive is a great platform for shaping women to be powerful versions of themselves,
Hmm. Of
right?
course. Yes, yes.
With mentors and cohort leaders like you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Uh, what was the best part of being a cohort lead?
The best part of being a cohort lead was, I would say, the cold calls I did in the beginning to bring people together. It was
Okay.
both, comfortable and uncomfortable side, because I really have to put myself out of my comfort zone and have to reach out to strangers or people who have never met before. But the best part was these kind of conversations, that intimate talks I had with these people. Sometimes in the beginning it was so strange to start talking, but then these talks, these connections, this human connections that I made with these calls actually also sometimes resulted in a lifetime relationship with that person.
Wow.
And
That's
I
wonderful.
never, exactly, and I never thought that I would connect to a person who is sometimes sitting in a different city where I have never met. But with this calls and this kind of talks, especially during the time of pandemic, this is what I have clearly written my story. So
Yes,
the
yes, I saw
beauty
that.
and the best part I would see is, like, the opportunity to connect with people otherwise I have never seen in my life.
That's wonderful. And it's great to know that you're sustaining these relationships. That's
Hmm.
really important. It's one to
Yes.
start them, it's another thing to sustain them. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're doing it is it's really good. That deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Bijna, we have wrapped up our show. It
Hmm.
was a like I was telling you, it's a very a quick format kind of a show. We just
Hmm.
wanted to gain some insights and know about you and your story, and I'm sure everyone's got a wonderful picture from what you have just shared with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of this, and I had a lovely time speaking with you. Uh, before we sign off, there's just a couple of messages I'd like to share. Please feel to the whole to the audience. Uh, Please pre-order your copy of our book, Unstoppable. If you pre-order it now, you can receive it during the awards ceremony. And if you buy the tickets for for the awards at full price, you will get 2 copies of the book complimentary. You can share that with your friends, Bishna,
Yeah,
all
of
those who are
course.
looking forward. And
Yes.
also, there's a crowdfunding campaign that we are doing to raise funds to market this book, publish it, and market it, and put it on the shelf so that more women get inspired and pick up, understand what mentoring is about and how much it can help them, the way it has helped all of us. Yeah. So on that
Thank you
note,
so
I'd
much.
like to welcome Bijna. I hope you enjoyed this chat as much
Of
as I
course.
did. I had a lovely time
Yes.
speaking with you.
The same, Lalita. Thank you so much for having me. And it was very nice having this conversation with you. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All the best for everything, Bijna. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.